like, what are you talking about sometime in the month of June, you dumb face?
Mm-hmm.
Just
I mean, I was
happily
ready
going
to believe
along
you,
with it.
and then I remembered a thing, and then I went to go
Yeah,
look for
good.
the thing. I found the thing. So,
Good job. Ugh. All right. In other anime news,
I've
are you
still
are you caught
watched
up on
nothing.
anything?
Nope.
Really? 2 weeks of nothing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Today is my first day off in basically 2 weeks.
Priorities, man. It's all about
Yeah.
priorities. Don't tell me you
So
have no free time. You're just using it on other stuff. It's okay.
I'm using it on other stuff.
Yeah.
Mostly sleep.
Sleep is good.
I played some Warhammer yesterday.
Nice.
That was fun.
How'd
I
that
got
go?
utterly destroyed by Death Guard.
Oh. Oh.
Damn you, Mortarion and Noble.
Is that an expected outcome or is that a surprising outcome?
No, I could theoretically totally beat them, right? It wasn't like it was an unfair game or something.
Yeah. No, I just mean the matchup. Did you feel like the matchup was pretty even and you just got trounced anyway?
No, the matchup felt even,
Okay.
pretty even.
That's cool.
Like there was
Sure.
some fun stuff that I got to do, and then some bad dice rolls, and then some good dice rolls, and I did not score enough points on objectives, so I lost. That's how that
Ah.
works. Yeah.
I mean, I honestly imagine that balance in the Warhammer game is nigh impossible because there's so much stuff going on.
It's pretty hard. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
But, if you can get a matchup that's pretty balanced, I'd say that's probably as good as you're going to get. Fair enough.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I couldn't like I've played like 6 games in total. I couldn't talk to overall balance and how it's going,
Okay.
right? Or even balance in the matchup I just played, especially given the way you muster armies. So it's like I decided I'm taking these models, and then someone else goes, "Well, I'm going to take these ones instead." It's like, okay, how do you balance
Oh,
between player choice for what units they use as well?
yeah, I
Yeah.
understand that much about it. So for sure, you don't.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway.
Anyway, so my report is 86 is incredibly good,
Okay.
continuing to be so. And Vivi's nice. I'm enjoying Vivi still.
Okay.
My Hero Academia did some more stuff, which was cool.
Okay.
I really enjoy. So, spoilers for the latest episode of My Hero Academia, the anime.
Mm-hmm.
But basically, they're having this practice fight, and all of a sudden, Deiko's powers go nuts and almost like kill people.
Mm-hmm.
And then they kind of get back under control, and the teachers are like, see where this goes.
Like they take a hands-off approach.
Yeah. Like when he's kind of going crazy, they're like, okay, hold on, we got to do that something. And then they kind of get within the general area, but then it stops. And they're all like, well, shrug, let's see what happens. We can shut it down if we need to, I guess.
Right. Yeah.
Because Eraser's there, and he's like, it is quirk-based, so I can just shut it down if we need to. And they're like, okay. And I'm like, are you? Fine, I guess. These are bad teachers.
Yeah, but
Get
I mean, we
people
already knew
killed.
that. We already knew that.
Yeah, we did. We did. We have plenty of information about that. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Thus concludes Anime Corner.
Anime Corner is done.
Shortest one for a long time.
Probably. Yeah. Yeah.
All right. I have a couple of things I want to talk about here
Okay. Okay.
today. Number one is the crypto. We'll call it a bear market.
Okay.
Which means going down, right?
Yes.
So I hold Bitcoin, which I've been talking about for years. Somebody donated me some back in 2014 or 15 or something.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And it was hilarious because it went from like $5 to $1,500 and everything. Ha ha ha.
Right.
So since that peak, around like mid-April or so is when things were nuts. It's been on this kind of steady down slope to the point that today it's worth $33,000 a Bitcoin, which is where it was on January of this year. So from January to April, we had this giant run up and then this correction down to where it was to start with, which is amazing. And what I want to talk about is there's this concept floating around called Wyckoff manipulation, Wyckoff market manipulation. Which have we talked about this?
Distribution. I don't think we have, but I've seen some links you've posted and watched a portion of a video that was far too long to keep my interest.
Right. So in a nutshell, the concept is that so it was originally kind of discovered and put forth back in I want to say it was the early 1900s,
Okay.
back in the US stock market, like when it was a baby.
Mm-hmm.
And this dude basically said this is happening where rich folk
Mm-hmm.
are intentionally selling off their stock to create a panic in the average investor, to cause them to sell because they're afraid it's all over. And if they don't sell now, it's never going back up, right?
Right.
And then once it gets to a certain point, this is way more complicated than I'm making it sound, but it gets to a certain low point, and then all the rich people buy up all the stocks for cheap. It's a discount,
Right.
right? They buy it up. They use their thousands of millions of dollars to buy up a ton of stock, which drives it back up, and then it goes back up again to
Right.
new all-time highs.
Yes.
But yeah, and what I thought is so genius about the concept is it just relies on normal human emotions.
Uh-huh.
It just relies on the concept that
Well.
even if you're planning on holding on to your investments for the long term, seeing them take a 30 to 40% dip makes you afraid. It just does, right?
Yeah.
And so most people are going to sell in that situation and cut their losses and get out because it's too scary and they're worried about the future. And it's just, you're not forcing anyone to do anything. You're not really manipulating them in any more of a complicated way than saying the price is going down, sell your stock.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. I find it such an intriguing concept. And it is something of a theory. And so people are saying this is happening with Bitcoin right now, and Bitcoin drives the entire crypto market. And, people say we're in this stage of the Wyckoff model, or we're in this stage of the Wyckoff model. And once we're done with all this garbage, then, the rich investors will come back. They'll buy everything up at a discount. We'll shoot back up again. So I'm curious to see if that happens. Like, this whole concept is really new to me. I do want to know if they're right about this. I mean, not because I really care about my Bitcoin as much as it is. I just want to see what happens. I want to see if they're right about it. Because if that does happen and it kind of confirms the existence of this Wyckoff manipulation, that's like a mind-shattering concept that like these people are manipulating huge financial markets for their own gain and simply using people's own fear to do it,
Yeah. I mean, it'll be interesting to see if it works.
Yeah, for sure.
But
it's working if it is what it is.
Yeah. I feel like anytime there's a small dip, someone's going to sell off, and then that'll cascade into more people seeing a bigger dip, right?
Yeah.
And so it's one of those things where it's like, how much are we just like seeing rough patterns here and labeling it as a thing that is maybe or maybe not intentional? I don't know.
Sure. But I mean, if you look at the history of Bitcoin, there are dips and valleys and mountain peaks and stuff. But for it to go from 60,000 down to 30,000, that is not a regular dip, right? That is not some people sold and some other people sold. That is a ton of money got taken out.
But it was only like 6 months before that it climbed up.
Yes, to its all-time high.
Right, so it's like, okay, how did they specifically drive that then?
Well, that's the Wyckoff manipulation as well. There's the two phases, right? So one is you buy a whole ton of it. So that's what you're doing. You're buying it, 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 which then drives regular people to buy it, which then drives it further up and further up.
Right.
And then people's greed pushes it up to this all-time high.
Right. I understand the concept.
Yeah.
But you can see who was buying Bitcoin then at that time. And if you come across 5 or 6 people who have bought $500 million worth of Bitcoin, and then if you go and check and see, did they then sell at the top, right? April 7th-ish, April 14th by the looks of it on CoinMarketCap, right? Like,
somewhere around there, yeah.
Someone could investigate and be like, is this happening, or is this just lots of people selling all at once? Because I feel like if it's a direct manipulation, you would notice the accounts and where those coins are being held.
Well, you're assuming whales that have one wallet.
Right. They could, I mean, they could have multiple, but I don't know. It feels like a lot of work.
And there's no identification on the wallets themselves. You can just watch the wallets and be like, okay, this is a wallet.
Right.
We assume one person's behind it. We don't know how many wallets they have, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
So, I mean, sure. I mean, if it's as simple as these whales have one wallet for their crypto, and then sure, we can track, did this wallet sell $500,000 worth of Bitcoin, right? Did they sell $2 million worth of Bitcoin? But if they've got it split up between 10 wallets in varying amounts, then it's much harder to track if that stuff is happening.
Yeah. I mean,
That's all.
if it's the biggest dip that they've ever seen in forever, I still feel like it should leave some sort of a footprint. But yeah.
Well, unless, again, you just start all you have to do is start the snowball rolling down the hill. And at a certain point, it's got enough mass that it's going to keep going.
No, because if you're intentionally trying to manipulate it, you need to sell at the top because otherwise you lose all the money you would use to rebuy back in at the bottom. Buy high, sell low. You have to be the one who sells at the top.
Yeah.
If it just dips naturally, you've done it wrong.
Right.
Right. So we would definitely be able to see even 10 accounts dropping large sums of money, all relatively at the same time. Should be,
or if it's 100, or if it's again,
right. Again, if I don't,
how
I have
many
no
people
idea.
are involved? That's where it gets really conspiracy theory. Is how many people are involved,
which
right?
is,
And then you start feeling like, well, how many of these people can keep a secret? And
right,
all the classic questions that come with that sort of thing.
Yep.
So yeah, I just thought it's interesting, and I'm curious to see what happens in the future.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you said you had multiple things. What's this?
I did.
What are the other things? What else you got?
Okay, so the other thing is, I'm gonna link it to you here.
Okay.
ProRepublica.org. They basically gained access to the tax filings for the richest Americans.
Okay.
Confidential tax records obtained by ProPublica. So what they say is, it is a violation of privacy for us to publish this information, and we thought about whether we should do this or not. We went back and forth on it, and we decided that the information contained is so important and should be known by the average person that we're publishing it anyway.
Okay.
So in a nutshell, what this shows is that the 25 richest Americans.
Yeah.
Let me find this number here real fast. The one that really stood out to me was that the tax burden for the top 25 most wealthy people in America is like fractions of what everybody else paid into the tax burden for the country.
Right.
God, where is it? Whatever. It's in here somewhere.
The word tax burden does not appear in this website. What about just the word burden? Twice. I don't know. What are we looking at?
I know. Hang on. Here it is. Yeah. So the personal federal tax bill for the top 25 most wealthy people in America in 2018 paid $1.9 billion in taxes.
Okay.
And the bill for the average wage earners in the U.S. was $143 billion. So it's not even 1% of what everyone else contributed at that time. I mean, it's staggering.
What were those two numbers again?
143 versus 1.9.
143 billion?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
You doing maths?
I was thinking about it, but then I remembered never do maths on stream, so.
I mean, yeah. It's less than 1%. I know that much maths.
Okay.
See, Evie knows. Taxes are made up. So here's what the article goes into saying. Number one, there are a lot of different ways that the most wealthy people take advantage of the U.S. tax system, which includes deductions and charity credits and all sorts of stuff to not pay, hardly any percentage of their personal income in tax.
Mm-hmm.
And that I understood. I got that. But what's going on here that I did not know is that what a lot of these guys are doing is they're borrowing against their own investments in their own companies. So Jeff
Okay.
Bezos officially makes $80,000 a year in salary from Amazon.
Sure he does.
But no, he does. That's literally on the books.
Okay.
He gets $80,000. But then he wants to buy a $10 million house. So what does he do? He takes out a loan from a bank against the investments that he holds in Amazon, which are billions and billions and billions of dollars. Please give me $20 billion or $10 billion. I want to build a house. And they're like, sure thing, Mr. Bezos. Here you go.
Right.
And that's not taxed. And he builds his house. The end.
Ah, okay.
That's how they are supporting their incredibly wealthy lifestyles without officially getting wealthy income from their own companies.
Yeah.
It's garbage. So there's a chart on here kind of towards the top where it shows Warren Buffett, Jeff Bezos, Michael Bloomberg, and Elon Musk and their actual tax rates compared to how much their personal wealth had grown. And Warren Buffett is 0.1%.
Yeah.
Jeff Bezos is 0.9%. Bloomberg is 1%. Elon Musk is 3%. Because they're all using these tricks to just avoid paying into the system what the intent is. This blows my mind. Like I knew wealthy people were using the tax system to kind of get around some things and, you know, not paying probably as much as they should. But this, like hard data, is nothing that I've seen before.
Okay.
See it in these terms and have explained this whole concept of borrowing against your own investments blows my mind. So that's what I learned today. I don't like it. It makes me never want to pay taxes again. I'm sure the IRS is listening and I'm going to get audited now, but I don't care. Like, it bothers me for me to be like, I'm taking extra money out of my paycheck every month because I'm getting taxed on my YouTube earnings at a pretty significant rate. And so I'm just taking money out of my paycheck that I get from my 9-to-5 job. So I have enough money at the end of the year to pay for these taxes. And I'm being studious about it. And I'm spending a lot of time on it and being, you know, being a good citizen. These jerks are just like, nah, no, I don't think I will. I think I'll pay 1% of my income. It's like, I'd love to pay 1%. Yeah, I'd love to pay 0.1% of my wealth every year. That'd be incredible.
What you should do is from your like sole trader corporation of Falcon Paladin is pay yourself a moderate salary of $8 a year and then borrow against your investments into yourself. There you go.
If I could, if they can do it, why can't I? Why can't everyone do this, right?
Because it seems like if everyone was doing it, they wouldn't be doing it because
correct,
it wouldn't make them a shit ton of money.
They'd shut it down.
Yeah.
It sucks. So, I don't know. I've been seeing people crying about income equality and class warfare stuff for the last few years. And I've always been like, the concept of wealth inequality does not bother me. The fact that somebody has $1 billion and I don't is like, okay, fine. But that was also under the assumption they were paying their fair share of taxes. Like, they were paying more of a percentage of their wealth than I am because I make less than they do. That's how the system should work, right?
How the system should work, yeah.
That's how it should work. But nope, that's not what's happening at all.
Hey man, don't forget your last president also only paid like $500 in taxes. Like, people have been avoiding paying taxes forever. And by and large, people don't care. You guys are elected that, man. Right?
Yes, this is not new. I understand it's been happening.
Right. I'm just saying.
This is the first time anyone has shown me hard data of exactly how bad it is and what's happening and why.
Well,
that's all.
Okay. Well.
No?
I mean, I'm not disagreeing. I'm just saying when when someone's tax returns comes out at $500 for a financial year, that also feels like hard data, and that was like 2 years ago.
Yes,
So,
but
so
that no. That was different.
very different.
Well, it was because that was basically saying that that was a straight up investment losses thing. That was, I think he had bought a bunch of investments and then sold them at a massive loss, and that is the reason why he didn't end up paying income tax.
Right.
And that different thing. That's a different. It's just okay. It's one of the many ways
People are
that this
abusive to the
happens.
tax system is not a new concept, and I feel like it's been shown before. And so just saying this is the first time you've been shown is a little different. Also, I would say they don't link the actual returns of these wealthy people, do they? Because,
Wait, what?
like this ProPublica, do they link the actual where they get their data from, or have they, for all intents and purposes, potentially just made this up?
Oh, I mean,
I don't think they would, because I have no reason to disparage them like that. But read our full methodology.
Oh, I might have it.
This is another article to read that is incredibly long.
Yeah.
Actually, this one's much shorter, but I'm still not going to read it all on stream because that would take time.
Entirely fair.
Yeah. Cool. So you're going to stop paying your taxes now? It is tax season, is it not?
I'm too responsible a human being. It is not tax season, actually.
It is here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be real bad timing if it was tax season when this story broke. I don't think that would go well for anybody. I don't know. Like, again, I'm not mad that people have more money than me, but I am mad that it seems like they are intentionally and easily. That's the other thing. It's so easy, apparently, just to be like, hey, bank, I want $10 billion to buy a house. I'm like, sure thing, Mr. Bezos. Here you go. You're not taxed on this. 2 thumbs up. Like, what? It's not even hard. Like, hiring a tax attorney who has to spend days and months combing through the system and finding different deductions and charitable donations you can set up. Like, at least that's work. Like, this whole borrowing off your own investment concept is not difficult. That bothers me. I guess that's part of it, too. I don't know.
Fair enough.
That's all.
Yeah, no.
So, yeah. I mean, just like I said, like the whole class warfare, eat the rich thing, I was always like, whatever. Now I get it. I get it a lot more.
Okay.
I think, I don't know. It's just, I don't know where this goes, is all I'm saying.
Spoilers, the answer is probably nowhere.
I mean, how long can it go nowhere?
How long has it already been going nowhere?
Well, I mean, a lot of, I don't know. Like the article does talk about different attempts to fix this problem in U.S. history over time. Like, we used to freak out because there were super rich Americans making $1 million a year, and we were like, what? It was a different time. Yeah. Yeah, and that was like the 1800s. Like the railway barons and the oil barons were like super duper rich, and it was like $2 million net worth. Yeah, so there have been efforts made to fix it over time, and then new loopholes are found, and then it's just a back and forth stupid thing. So I mean, there are attempts, especially by Democrats, to try to do stuff about this. One thing I don't like is that one of the ideas floated as taxing unrealized investment assets.
Unrealized? What does that mean?
Which means if you're holding stock and it goes from $25,000 to $50,000, you pay taxes on the $50,000 number. Have you cashed out? No. Are you borrowing against it? No. But you're paying out of your own pocket for stuff, for money you don't have in your pocket. I don't like that idea.
Yeah, that seems stupid.
Yeah. But I think once the cash hits your hand, once you borrow $20 billion, once you sell your stocks for $5 billion, then let's tax that. That sounds fair.
Yeah, that sounds reasonable.
Yeah.
So the two things. One, I saw on Twitter the other day, and I'm looking for it now, but I can't find it. It's oh, hey, I just found it. Wait, no, that's not that. It was a tweet in the same format with the same person, but an entirely different outcome. Someone basically was like, a story in 3 parts, and it was like, this other Twitter person follows them, and then just before that, it was their last tweet was the person that followed them wearing a t-shirt that said tax the rich, and their latest YouTube video thumbnail was, here's my $2 million apartment tour, and then the third frame was, that person doesn't follow you anymore.
Yeah, that's a well, I'd say Bernie bro, but she's a girl, so Bernie gal. Yeah, like she got huge on TikTok, like being a huge Bernie fan and being adorable. And then started being on Twitch, and now she bought a $2 million apartment.
Yep.
And the hoodie says "Eat the rich." So I mean, the argument is, it's not really her money we need. It's more the Bezos money that we need, right?
Right.
So she's not really the problem, but it is kind of a bad look to be like, I'm spending $2 million on housing, and I'm with you poors.
Yeah,
right?
But I think that rolls into the next point, which is people are unlikely to willingly invest in changing systems that they see as broken like this because, well, one day it might apply to them.
Yes.
Like, we want to keep these loopholes open, so if I become rich, I can exploit them.
But that's so much bullcrap. Like, I don't know how you go to sleep. Here's the thing. The drive and the motivations it takes to be worth $200 billion are the same kinds of drives that make it so you don't feel guilty about paying 0.01% in taxes. It's the same type of personality. Holy crap. All right.
I mean,
the real big...
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, you go. I was just gonna make a joke.
Yeah, go ahead. That's
okay.
fine.
Well, I mean, I'm personally worth $20 billion. It's just no one's willing to pay that for it. So.
Tragically.
Yeah, I have that drive. I'm already there. Just the rest of the world can't keep up.
Nope.
Nope.
EP says maybe she didn't just pay $2 million in cash for it, but she's making payments on it for the next 10 years. I'm sure that's the case. She's a Twitch streamer. Like, she doesn't have $2 million in cash sitting around. She can just plop down on an apartment. Like, Twitch money is a lot of money. I don't think it's that much money. Is it that much money?
It depends on how many, on some stuff, but yeah.
Are there Twitch streamers who've made $2 million in like 4 months?
Yeah.
Holy crap. All right, maybe she did then.
Ludwig made like $1.5 million in a month with his subathon. But I mean, he was paying stuff, so it wasn't like all in his pocket. But
yeah.
And
you're right.
He had like 10,000 subs monthly before he did that, so he was easily making like 50 grand a month. So that's...
I know, but 50 grand a month times what equals 2 million?
That's like 2 years, right?
Okay, so yeah.
But you got to remember, with fan bases that big, you're also getting shuts. You probably have a Patreon.
Yes.
Then a YouTube for VODs and ad revenue, right? Like you can afford,
and sponsorship.
Yeah, you can afford a $2 million apartment pretty easily, I think.
You're right. Slapping down $2 million for a house is just like...
Well, I mean, welcome to the Australian housing market, right? Like, $2 million, is that all you're paying? She probably is in the slums.
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying paying $2 million in cash up front is...
Right.
Like, getting a mortgage for a $2 million house is like, okay. Like, that much more attainable is what I'm saying. Okay, that's all.
Yeah.
So the story from this article that really, the person who tweeted it out that I saw put this kind of like as their, hey, come read this, right? So Bezos in 2012 ended up so that his income was so low and his deductions were so great, and especially the child tax credit that he claimed was so big, that not only did he not pay any taxes, but he received $4,000 from the U.S. government, which is utter bullcrap. Like, man, it is one thing to pay 0.1%. It is another thing to take money from the government when you're worth $400 billion.
Yeah.
That is so much garbage.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Oh,
And that's why he's going to the moon.
I
Not
guess
not
he is.
not in the crypto sense. Literally, he's going to the moon, or he's
Yeah.
going into
Well,
space, or something like that. He's bought a ticket. He's going on a
yeah.
space flight.
When you're worth hundreds of billions of dollars, you get to do stuff like that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Uh,
Oh, okay. Well, that's it for tax discussion on the podcast. Everybody's favorite segment of the pod.
yeah.
No, it's really not. I don't think. All right. Well, StarCraft news.
StarCraft. Yeah. Yeah.
You ended up winning the European region for DreamHack.
That would be Clem.
Clem, this kid,
Yeah,
number one
Doddles,
ranked.
man.
I mean, Doddles. Number one ranked in Aligulac. Lived up to it there, man.
Yeah. Yeah. Kids going places. He's at places, but he's going further places.
He really is. It's the year of Clem for sure. Last year was the year of Rainer. 2017, year of Cyril. 2018 too.
Yeah.
But Cyril got beat by Lambo.
Yeah. I mean,
ZVZ is a
ZZ.
weird matchup, man. Rainer
Yeah.
beat him in ZVZ, and then Lambo beat him in ZVZ, and it's like, Rainer ZVZ struggles.
Cyril's ZVZ
Sorry,
is not great.
Cyril's ZVZ struggles.
Yeah. Yeah, and he knows that. He recognized it on Twitter.
Yeah. Oh no, I just got a news report. Sorry, going back a little bit.
Okay.
That Biden's investigating the illegal leak of those people's tax reports.
Oh, okay.
Screw you, Biden. Let it go. The information needs to be free.
Yeah.
All right. Sorry. Back.
No. That's fair. So, what does this mean for... Okay, so Cyril gets knocked out and, like, by Lambo at the losers round 4, right? So he gets, like, knocked out. He's eliminated. Does he not go to the season finals now? His name is not in that list.
I bet there are going to be other chances for him to earn up. He doesn't get an automatic berth, but if he wins enough from now until then, he'll get in there.
He'll still get in on points.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Well, he's only
I'd
got
be
3 weeks.
shocked.
So,
Wait, what?
yeah, the group stages start in July 2nd.
Oh,
Yeah.
so I don't know then.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, he'll be fine. I'd be shocked if he got left out.
I'm
Maybe
just
he
annoyed.
does.
I can't see where there's no list here for, like, here's the points.
Yeah.
Oh, I might have found it. He's 5th in points for EPT, actually. Well, tied 5th with the laser. So, really, he's like 6th.
Yeah. EU, man. Tough region.
Yeah,
Tough region these days.
it's true. Saru should just move to NA for an easier time.
I know, right? I mean,
Actually,
TLO moved to Toronto.
Move to Australia, Cyril. You'll love it here. We have no good players.
Holy smokes. Can you imagine? All of the Oceanid players are like, come on.
Yeah, I mean,
Probe's like,
Yeah, I mean, I don't think Probe would care. Like, he gets in because Oceania and the rest of Asia Division gets a free spot. So he basically gets in for free. But
unless Cyril's here.
Unless Cyril's here. But he's also working, like, hard on his, like, master's degree. He has not been practicing. He's barely playing. Like, he streams, like, once a fortnight or something.
Fair enough.
He's openly said he's not super happy with the game. He doesn't enjoy playing anymore. Like, Probe's not there because he thinks he's in a great position. You know, like, his TVP is looking amazing. No, he's there because we get a free spot. He's just still the best we have, right?
Yeah.
Like, if you're Cyril or Clem and you want free spots, move to Australia. We'll hang out. It'll be fun.
That would be amazing. Cyril's like, these kids, too good. Too fast. Clem is incredible, though. Like, I cast a Cyril versus Cure game, and a Serral versus TY game recently, and it's just like, just both TY and Kira just don't have. They look like bad Terrans compared to the Serral versus Clem games that I've cast and that we've seen recently. Clem's just, he's multi-pronged. He's using Widow Mines to great effect. His macro's insane. He knows Serral's tendencies. It's insane. It's really impressive. Serral's maybe a little predictable at times, which is...
You think so?
Like, there's been more than one game against Clem where Clem will send down Marines to a spot where Serral is morphing in Banelings next to his third. So either he's map hacking, or he's like, Serral likes to morph in Banelings next to my third at about this time every time we play. So let me check that real quick. Right?
Yeah. I can totally see that. Like, I think Zerg replays get analyzed more than anyone else's to look for overlord locations, because if you can know where those overlords are going to be, you can potentially see dropper lords. You can deny scouting much more easily. So it would not surprise me that people have been checking out Serral's replays and be like, it's pretty common for him to set up a Baneling run by at 5 minutes. Let's go have a little pokesy, right?
Yeah, not a big risk. Send down some Marines. You can pull back if you need to.
Yeah.
Amazing. And with Widow Mines, man, I tell you, they're good units. I really don't know why certain Terrans just don't implement them into their TVZ. Like, even if the Zerg is really careful and, you're not getting huge connections on anything and it feels like a waste of time, it just takes one, man. It just takes one Baneling hit or one Widow Mine hit to hit, like, 15 Banelings, and then suddenly the Zerg's like, oh, I really needed those to do something. And then it hurts. It's an actual pain point. Anyway, Widow Mines, use them.
Widow Mines, good unit. Ooh. So Duddles wins the Europe qualifier bets, I guess. Then Reno, and then Serral, who I took, coming in 5th.
Yeah. It's brutal. Yeah. I mean, the EU is just not getting good. That's what it is.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. I think EU's getting good. And then I see MaxPax came 7th, and I feel like MaxPax was one of those players who was like, yeah, he's got like a real cheesy style, and he did a thing, and people named it after him, like a MaxPax build sort of a thing. But he shouldn't be at like 2 places below Serral ever.
No, he's also a solid player. If you only know him from like 2 years ago when he invented the MaxPax build, and you think that's all he's done, that is inaccurate.
Well, what else has he done?
He's just a solid Protoss. He's got good builds. He's got good macro, good micro. He's
New Haas. He's New Haas.
No, he's not proxying every game.
The Haas doesn't proxy every game.
It's enough.
I mean, look at
I
this.
don't think MaxPax proxies half of his games right now.
I have no idea what he does. But winner EU last year, right? He came 25th to 28th. Now he's 7th.
Yeah, he got better. What do you want from me?
He got a lot better in a year, or everyone else got a lot worse. Or a bit of both.
There are plenty of times that players ratchet up like that in the course of a year.
I don't know.
Serral in 2016? An average European Zerg. Who was he in 2017? World champ.
Right. But MaxPax hadn't played in anything. If you look at his results tab on Team Liquid, he has 5 results. It doesn't go back before 2020. Like, full EU. That's all he's got. Like, from there, he started at 21, at 21st to the 24th. And now he's 7th to 8th. That's an incredible jump from someone who's only just on the scene-ish, right?
Okay, but how stratified is the European StarCraft scene?
I have no idea.
I just mean... So you got the top players, right? You got the Serral, Raynor, Clem. And below them, is it really like, and this is tier 2, and this is tier 3, and this is tier 4, and this is tier 5... Or is it like kind of a hodgepodge of great players, but nobody's that much better than anybody else? You know what I mean? It's just easier to move up in a situation like that.
I don't think it's super hodgepodgey. I think it's way more we could make a tier list, right? It's like Cyril
Okay.
and Reyna and Clem, and then it's like Lambo and
Showtime.
Showtime, right? And maybe Hero Marine if you wanted. And then
Yeah.
below that, you've got other people whose names I'm
Yeah.
forgetting. And I
So
don't,
that's the other people group.
Right,
We
but-
moved up inside the other people group.
No,
Ooh.
he's not in that other people group. He's fourth tier at the moment. Right? He's got to earn that third tier. I mean, good for him, right? Like, but
I'm just no. I'm just saying.
look, here's the thing, it could be a one-off. If it
Yeah.
holds consistent, I'll rescind every bad thing I've ever said about Goblin. No Goblin,
Sure.
Max Pax.
And Goblin.
And Goblin.
Okay,
'cause
but
he's probably too high
sure.
as well.
Yes, it could just be a one-off. It could just be he had a good run. He had some good favorable matchups. He ate his Wheaties, right?
Yeah.
Totally possible. So
Yeah.
yes, if he continues, then we can take him seriously. That's fair. That's what I'm saying, though.
Okay.
Like
okay.
I'm just not
Look,
impressed
look.
by this one-off going from 25 to 7.
Okay,
I'm
but
not.
what about this? Max Pax, according to what Ligalak, is 23 in the world. 23rd best.
Holy crap, that seems
High?
aggressive. Yeah,
Right. Like, it thinks
seems
it's-
really high.
Thinks he's better than, like, Special.
I mean, Special's been okay recently.
No, he's been killing it.
What
about...
Koreans are in that range?
You think SOS? Ragnarok? Amani?
I disagree. I
Zhao?
disagree with Max Pax rankings if that's where he is.
Dream? He's one below Dream.
Ooh. I think Dream would stomp him.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay. Glad we can agree
right.
on this.
totally agree.
Yeah. Although it still has stats in the top 10, and he's been in military for like 2 months. So.
It's residual greatness.
Yeah.
It's out of respect at this point.
Right.
It's fair. It's very fair. All right. So what's next? Are we doing Americas and EU is kind of at the same time, right?
I think America's is already done.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Latin America is done, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah, Special coming out of that. Go figure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
China gets time. Jishi. Yeah, that makes sense. Nice and Haas from the Taiwan, Hong Kong, Japan region.
Right. Fair. Whatever.
Probe, yeah. Korea play-ins have not have May 12th, but all the games went 0-0. What?
What?
No, it's just listed weird. The results say it was a round robin, Bunny Innovation Zest, all at 0-0. And then you hit show more details, and it's like Zest 3-1 Inno, Zest 3-1
okay.
Bunny, Inno 3-1 Bunny. So
Yeah.
thank you for making that more complicated than it needed to be. Cool. So we're just a couple weeks away from the group stages of the season finals. Yeah.
No, well, all right, we'll get there.
We'll get there. 3 weeks' time. Come back.
All right. Good old StarCrafts.
Yeah. Did you end up playing Frostpunk? I saw you talking about it in Discord.
No, I watched Sweet Tooth instead.
Okay. Do you want to talk about Sweet Tooth? Is it
A
good?
little bit, yeah. I recommend it. I do.
Okay.
It's the live-action Netflix adaptation of a DC comic property.
Mm.
But, like, it is 0% superhero,
Uh-huh.
which I find interesting. Like, you tell me this is a DC comic property, and I'm like, okay. So what superpowers are there? Like, what crime are we fighting? Right?
Right.
And that's just my ignorance, obviously. There's a lot of stuff out there that obviously doesn't fit the superhero mold, but it's good. It's basically a post-apocalyptic story wherein the Black Plague returned, basically. A virus showed up that was incredibly contagious and incredibly deadly and, like, caused the collapse of civilization. And at the same time, like, basically the same time, these children started being born who were hybrid human animals. So, everyone's freaking out. Society's collapsing. People aren't in the most rational state of mind.
No.
So a lot of people are like, the hybrids, they caused this, right? It's a very medieval kind of state of mind where it's a very correlation is causation. These hybrid kids started being born. The Black Plague returned. They did this, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's your basic setup for what you're doing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I think it's good. It does, like, the acting is pretty fantastic, especially the child acting is impressive.
Is it though? I'm never really impressed by child actors. I'm like,
ever?
Yeah, I mean they're children and they fill their role, but they're never like the standouts of a movie or something. I don't really watch a lot of movies where children are the focus of a story. They're always just like, Tony Stark has a daughter for 4 scenes,
Yeah, well, okay. The range of child varies. Like, we're not talking 4-year-olds. We're talking, like, 11-year-olds? 12-year-olds? Better. Not adult.
No, still very... You get to sit at the kids' table, don't talk to me.
Very childy. So, hold up. What do you think about... You've seen Stranger Things Season 1.
No.
Oh. Too many kids.
Yeah.
You do hate the children's. I was going to tell you, like, Millie Bobby Brown's performance as 11 in Season 1 is insanely good. And she was, like, 10 or 11 when it happened. So I'm saying, there are outliers, but I would agree with you that for the most part, kids suck at acting.
Okay, well.
So I guess when I say that child acting is good in Sweet Tooth, I'm going to put it at a baseline of, like, it's better than average child acting. Take that for what you will.
Okay, Millie Bobby Brown was in something I saw. Okay, she was in Godzilla vs. King Kong.
Yes.
That was this year. She's still 17, still not a good actress. She was in King of Monsters, which was 2 years ago. She would have been 15. Not exactly a standout performance either.
Who's acting good in those movies? Freaking Bryan Cranston.
Nobody.
Bryan Cranston is in there.
Bryan Cranston.
And if you were like,
great.
I'm going to judge Bryan Cranston on your acting talent by Godzilla, you'd be so wrong.
No. Bryan Cranston's great in Godzilla. He gives a wonderful performance for the 10 minutes he's in, and then he dies. It's perfect. Like, he gives a good... He's good, right? Like,
okay. All right. That's fine.
Children are not good actors, generally speaking.
Okay. So, in that case, Sweet Tooth is probably not for you, is where we're landing on this discussion. Because the main character is a child.
Mm-hmm. Like, I remember,
he does a lot.
I remember it was like 3 years ago on the podcast for people who have been listening for that long. You said you watched the kid who would be king. You took your kids to go see it, and I was like, one day I was like, I'm bored enough. I'm looking for a movie to watch, and that got recommended to me. Kids in that are not good actors.
I told you it was bad. I did not tell you it was good.
No, you told me it was good, but I think there might have been an asterisk for it was good for my kids, right? Like they liked it.
Yes, I did not.
Yeah, kids in that movie are not good actors either. Again, adults in that movie are not good actors either.
Nope. Oh, I entirely forgot that movie exists.
Uh-huh.
The Kid Who Would Be King. Dang. Yeah, Nick Baker. Sweet Tooth is kind of set in 2020. There are some parallels that are, like, they really work hard at moments to draw some parallels between our world and this world. But whatever. I think it's kind of hard to avoid that if you're making a show about a plague during an actual pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
Anywho. Yeah, it's good. It's like 8 episodes, 40-something minutes each. It's not a lot.
Okay.
Yeah. But again, not for you because there are children in it. And the main character is a child.
You can have children in your shows. Like, I'm not saying no, right? Like,
But
I'm trying to think of a show with children in it. I mean, season 1 of Game of Thrones is pretty good, and the brand kids are kids.
Yeah. Little Arya's pretty cool.
Little Stark kids are kids.
I guess. Poor the actor who played Bran.
Sit here for 6 seasons.
Yeah. So you're a kid. So like you don't really have a personality yet, and
Mm-hmm.
then you become the three-eyed raven and don't have a personality because you're the three-eyed raven.
Mm-hmm.
Enjoy.
But you get to be king.
Off screen after the show's over. That hardly counts at all.
Uh,
Spy Kids. Never watched Spy Kids, Omicron. Also terrible.
I think I've seen Spy Kids. I was a kid when Spy Kids came out, so
Oh, so you had different standards.
yeah. Go figure.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah. Same with like Shark Boy and Lava Girl. Great
yeah.
movie. Yeah. Haven't seen it since I
So
was
good.
like 9, so I assume it's still great. Nobody ruined it for me. I heard they're remaking that actually.
Shark Boy and Lava Girl?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, that's a bad idea, but whatever.
Uh. Where's the remake? Because I've seen like not test footage, but like here's the costumes for the, and it looks not good.
I can't imagine it ever possibly would be.
No, no.
Yeah. That's where
But
Taylor Lautner came from. I didn't know that,
yeah.
Nick.
Oh really? You didn't know that?
Mm-mm. I don't have much information about it. I was an adult when that came out, so it did not appeal to me at all.
Showing our ages a little.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's like right on that border between us. Blah.
Blah.
Blah, indeed. All right, what else is going on? Sports ball minute.
Oh, did sports happen?
Yes, the NBA playoffs are happening. So, interesting stat. Of the remaining 8 teams that are still in the playoffs, the most recent championship for any of them is like 1973. So, we had this run in the NBA where it was like LeBron or Kobe or Steph every year. So, someone is getting another championship to add to their trophy collection basically all the time. So it's just nice. I feel like it's nice for parity in the league that a franchise who, hasn't experienced that kind of success in a very long time is going to get a shot at it. And one of those less fortunate teams has to.
Hmm.
I'm very socialist when it comes to sports. I think we've had this discussion.
You might have said something about it. I don't know that I was listening.
Right.
It's not StarCraft sports, so it's like I don't know. Some people throw a ball and then you picked a winner because the team that won the most games in a season isn't the winner somehow.
Yes, that's how playoffs work sometimes. It's true.
Yeah.
Anyway. So the Jazz are in there. They're playing against the Clippers, and the Clippers maybe have better talent at the top, but the Jazz have more talent overall, and it's going to be an interesting series. And game 1 is tonight. The end. Sports ball minute over. You can come back now. You can come back now.
Okay.
Oh,
I'm here. I'm here.
You're
I'm
back.
just.
Oh shoot! Nick asked a sports question.
Yeah, you can answer.
So I think LeBron has given up. I think LeBron recognized that when Anthony Davis is injured, he has no chance to win a title. So yes, he gave up in that game, but I don't know that he could have done anything to win it if he played super hard either. So,
Isn't he like an actor now? He's like doing the Space Jam remake.
Space Jam. Yep, he's in the Space Jam remake. Just like Michael Jordan was.
Yep.
Yep, all the greatest athletes are also actors, I guess. That's not true, actually.
Is he gonna stop playing basketball and go play baseball as well?
I don't think so. It's too late for him, I think. He's like 38, 39. He's old for a basketball player.
Oh, is he old? He's 36.
He's old. He's played more minutes in the NBA than anybody in history. He's old.
Okay.
That's what you need to measure this on, not
Okay.
on calendar years.
Okay.
Because part of it is he
Minutes
came into
played,
the
got
NBA. Yeah, well, he came into the NBA when he was 18.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of players get at least 1 or 2 years of college before they come into the NBA. So that alone puts him in a weird position to have more NBA minutes than anybody else. Plus, he always has pretty deep playoff runs, which gives him more minutes than someone who doesn't win playoff games. They just go home, right? So it's just maths. It's just had success for a long time, and therefore most minutes played, and it wears on your body. Just takes its toll over time. I mean, he's an alien. He's some kind of robot, but it's going to catch up to him here, and it's kind of starting to do so, I think.
Okay.
LeBron James, everybody. Of course, he did win the championship last year, so it's not like it's been a steady downhill run for this guy. Because it hasn't been. The end.
Good.
All right.
Good to know.
Anything you need to cover in the podcast today?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay. Just been working 7-day week, 16-hour days.
Feels like it. I turned all my alarms off when I went to bed last night, and I still woke up at like 2 o'clock in the morning.
Your body's like, but we have work every day, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Oh. All right.
Well, at least you're making that overtime bank. That's beautiful.
That's true. Yeah. And then I'll pay my taxes on it and everything.
Yep.
Because people who earn more should pay more.
Oh no, I do have another thing. Sorry.
Okay. Yeah.
Real quick. So the FBI worked with a bunch of different countries' law enforcement agencies in this huge international, sting operation, right? For many countries. It's crazy complicated. But basically what they did is they came up with this idea to create special phones that can't make calls or send or receive texts, that have a special app on there that criminals can use to communicate with each other about their crimes.
Okay.
That's super duper encrypted, and there's no hope of, the government ever getting hold of these communications, right?
Right.
So, yeah, they pulled it off. They got it into the criminal organizations in all these different countries, to the point that there was mass adoption, to where hundreds of different people were using these special phones with this special app on it. And high-ranking criminals that other people trusted were recommending this thing, and it all came from law enforcement. And the other day, they just pulled the box down, and just nailed everybody. And they're saying these guys believed in this app so much they were using their real names with each other and talking about their crimes openly and what their future plans were, and they just had so much trust in this thing, and it was all law enforcement from the top down.
Operation Trojan Shield.
Yeah, I thought it was an amazing story.
800 were arrested, apparently.
Yeah.
800 people.
Incredible.
Yeah. I did see, because they worked with Australia as well.
Yeah.
Our shitty Prime Minister decided to hold another press conference and claimed Australia had some big part in it and he should be praised for it or some shit.
Yeah, sounds about right. Politicians like getting praise and credit for things.
Yep.
Yeah. I get it, though, right? You're trying to do this secret stuff you don't want anyone to know about, and somebody you trust is like, hey, check this cool thing out. There's this special phone that can't make calls or receive texts. It has this app that you can only get it from someone you trust, right? And this is how we're going to coordinate all of our stuff. I would believe that. I'd be like, okay, cool. This is a great idea.
I don't know. I feel like most people who have any sort of tech knowledge should know that won't work, right?
It won't work.
I mean, it didn't work. Look what happened.
It didn't work because the law enforcement came up with it. It was their thing.
Right. Which is why you shouldn't trust it. If the criminals had made it,
if you understand technology.
No. If the criminals made it, right, I would say, well, I don't trust criminals because we're all criminals, right? if you told me, hey, download the Facebook of crime, I wouldn't do it if I was a criminal.
No honor among thieves for Somicron. That's probably smart, Somicron. You wouldn't get caught. That's true.
Well, I mean, I wasn't arrested, so stands to show.
Bingo. Yeah. Proof's in the pudding there.
Yep. On Monday alone, they seized 104 firearms, including a military-grade sniper rifle, as well as $45 Australian in cash, including a $7 million from a safe buried under a garden shed in the suburb of Sydney.
That's a good hiding place.
Yeah.
Why would you dig under a shed?
It's true.
That's incredible.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I thought that was a great story. They're never going to be able to do that again, but man, was it successful.
Yeah.
It had to start with like one or two criminal informants
Just
in every country.
People. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, someone who really has the trust of somebody else. Because you can't just be like some rando that you barely know being like, hey, man, there's this super cool phone. We should start using it, right? It'd have to be someone who's got a ton of cred already.
Right.
Or maybe they are that dumb. Maybe it was just some dude who was like, check this out. And they're like, ooh.
Right. Do you mind if we turn on geolocation? I want to tag us into 4 squares. Like, I've made our underground hideout a place I can check in. Do you mind? No. That just reminds me of the time the CIA sold a bunch of drugs to raise money that wasn't like tied to any books or anything, so they could fund other countries like revolutions to destabilize them, right?
Narcos,
right. So
yeah.
Clearly agencies that do this sort of thing have connections with criminal organizations.
Yeah. Yes, for sure.
I like for the how does this get started? Like, how do you slowly introduce it? I can see it happening very easily, right?
Yeah.
Like, if you can sell a couple people on it being trustworthy, I don't know.
And then those people have any kind of influence, it's just going to grow from there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, true fact.
Yeah.
Of course, then you burn that person forever.
Right. Well, that's what witness protection.
Because someone's going to remember the first guy who was like, these phones are the bomb.
Yeah, mysteriously, he didn't get arrested, the first guy. Huh.
Yeah, that guy disappeared off the face of the earth.
Yeah. He's living in the Caymans.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Nebraska somewhere.
Yep.
That's always the worst part of witness protection. They don't put you in, like, the Caymans. They put you in Idaho.
God, who'd want to live in Idaho? Ugh.
They put you in Nowheresville, Australia.
Yeah.
Name a small town in Australia.
Woolloomooloo.
Yeah, they put you in Woolloomooloo, Australia.
Yeah.
Yep. So avoid having to go into witness protection, people, is all I'm trying to say. To avoid knowing anything about crimes.
Don't be a criminal.
Yeah.
Pay your taxes.
Yeah. Well, sometimes you just have a knowledge of crimes. You're not even a criminal, and you have to go in witness protection. It sucks.
It's true. Yeah. Yep.
All right. Cool.
All right.
Cool.
Now
That's the last thing.
That's the last thing. All right.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks everybody for hanging out for another edition of the Falcon Paladin Hour with Somicron. Go ahead and be sure to check out the Patreon page at patreon.com/Falcon or /Somicron.
You can plug yours if you want. I don't mind.
I plug mine enough all the time. If you want to support the podcast directly, also falconpaladin.store is our merch location for stuff like hoodies if it's getting colder where you are, or t-shirts if it's getting warmer where you are. Thanks for gifting a sub there, Nick. This is very nice.
Yeah, thank you. Single-handedly keeping my lights on and my coffee cup full of coffee.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Special strain coffee.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. Well, cool. That right there is going to be it from us. Again, thanks for hanging out. Take care of yourself. And until next time, as always, stay safe and stay healthy. And goodbye.
Bye.